Well, I was just saying, I mean, we have to explain to the US side that, the measures they're putting forward, I mean, replacing or changing supply chains that have been in place since the Great War is not something you do overnight. And so some of the legislators might not realize, that 100% of cement in the north of New York is procured from Quebec, or liquid asphalt, and that aluminum, can come from Quebec, Canada, or other countries and regimes which they may not agree with their ideas of what a democracy should be. So I think I understand the aim. I think it's clear for everyone there, the inward movement and the desire to do all things American and create jobs in America. But I think that's going to be very disturbing and disrupting for supply chains. And it's going to kill competition to some extent and raise prices on Americans. And so it's going to do the contrary effect. But it's complicated. You have to be out there explaining that. Right. And I think, it's going to take a lot of explaining and strong voices to even poach into that or pierce into that bubble of protectionism that is being built, especially in that infrastructure bill.
Do you think that this should be an issue in the election campaign and the parties should be challenged to come up with their plans on how to deal with this?
Well, I mean, do Canadians wake up thinking about that? No. What I think is the timing of the election might be an issue because, you should not only be out there right now, but you should have the best task team, trying to speak to the American side. Instead of that, we have an election which will generate a transition period, right, which, as you well know, is long. And so before we get someone, efficient at foreign affairs or international trade, speaking to the Americans, it could take some time. So that's my big concern. In terms of issues, I mean, of course I would like it to be, but it's a bit convoluted. But if you talk to Canadians and about the agenda of the Liberals or the Conservatives or other parties, the Liberals and the Conservatives' agenda is not that different. When you look at it, I think it's more an election on Justin Trudeau or not, right, Justin Trudeau, right, this time. So
interesting. Yeah. No, I see your point. Certainly on these trade issues, I think you're quite right for sure. Few differences on some of the other issues, but we'll leave them to describe that to Canadians a little bit more. I want to talk about Quebec society with you for a couple of minutes. My sense is that Quebec is becoming or has become more entrepreneurial. I know that part of the history of Quebec has been state power to protect the language, protect the culture. But do you see Quebec entrepreneurs really coming into their own?
I definitely see the Quebec economy was leading before COVID and now is coming back faster than the rest of Canada. I think there is a lot of pride that has been created by not taking the issues of language, protection of French and culture as negative, but rather as positive forces. Being proud of French and wanting to protect it is not only normal, but commendable. Mm-hmm. And I think, the current Premier of Quebec, Mr. Legault, has succeeded in sending that message to Quebecers that, it is okay to protect and want to, cherish what we have in terms of culture and language. At the same time, the number of times he talks about being proud of being Quebecer, I think is a positive force also. Certainly the economy first message of the Premier has been in the US, and I've been told that so many times, really well received. This is the number one priority. And it is not something else that could be more political and that could take away some of the capital coming in the province or discourage certain entrepreneurs to do more from Quebec. So definitely the context is positive and is upbeat.